How gory is it on a scale of 1 to 10?
It's the picture from after the first bandage, so it's not that bad.
Okay.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, that doesn't look great.
It looked really bad when the blood was just flowing.
Yeah.
Sure.
It kind of looks like it sheared a little bit instead of just like going down somehow.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to analyze the wound here.
No, I know, but I was
throw some super glue in it and call it a day.
I think it'll hold up without stitches. I think we're good. Yeah. That's my day at the end of it. Just to say we've all had a rough one.
Yeah. This podcast really felt like it wasn't going to happen, honestly, at the speed we were going here
The
today.
universe was doing all that it could to step in the way.
Yeah.
Still waiting for the power to go out here.
Shit, stop it. Don't even. All right. Well, I think let's end our bad luck train. Start a podcast where Michael takes the lead and gives us good news and talks about how building a computer was the easiest thing in the world.
I think we can probably do that.
I wasn't sure if Michael's silence was meant to imply that was not true.
I was waiting for let's do it. And instead it was dead air. Well, then 308, Michael, take it away.
Yeah, welcome back. With me today, as always, JJ and Andy.
Hello.
We're here in part and whole, mostly.
Yep. So
Jesus.
Yes, and you have the hole in your finger to prove it.
Exactly. That was good. Thank you for understanding the pun.
It doesn't go all the way through, does it?
No, it doesn't go all the way through. No.
Okay, thank God.
The second gauze has not bled through.
Okay. So,
Okay, so you're okay.
So it's really, I mean, as far as I understand it, not all the conditions of being concerned have been met. So we'll be fine. We're good.
You got some antiseptic spray on it or something?
Oh yeah. We'll get some, motor oil on there and rub some dirt in it, and it'll be good.
Pour some tussin on it.
Yeah, pour some tussin on it.
Always the cure.
Michael knows.
Or pour some tussin in you.
That's not the worst idea. Oh boy, Michael.
I will lead this in by saying that I hit another unfortunate milestone this morning, which is that I am apparently no longer able to spend half a day hunched over a table without consequences years old.
Oh. Yeah.
We Were Gamers, the podcast where all of us are old now.
Every single person has had a sore back after building their computer, huh?
Uh-huh. Joining the club.
It was a nice idea while it lasted. I invited him over, JJ, and said, Look at this beautiful round table that you can use to lay out your parts, put your stuff down. It's wood, so there's no conductivity issues. Mm-hmm. Little did we know.
Which is great, except the table's at hip height. So when you're putting a mid tower on its side and reaching over into it. Yeah, we should have used one of your kids' little tables, Andy.
They'd be even lower.
Well, no. Then we could have just sat in regular chairs.
I think what we should have done is we could have put the little table on the big table, and then we'd be like a standing desk.
Yeah, that works until you have to sit it down to start installing things in the motherboard.
Yeah, there was a lot of moving your computer around different directions.
Yeah, there was.
You got the Define 7 case, right?
I did. I got the Fractal Define 7.
Let me give JJ an outsider's perspective for just a second. JJ, do you want a case that can do everything?
I mean, yeah. Is this a trick question?
Do you want a case that can do maybe a little too much of everything?
Do you want a case
I'm scared
where
now.
they thought about literally anything you could want to do with the case and then engineered it? There's
okay.
a few.
I mean,
there's a few many options on that thing. Sometimes we looked at the directions and we were like, "What's this part? This looks like it's upside down." Oh no, they moved parts around without telling you that you can transform the case in certain ways.
Yeah, the case is a robot in disguise.
It's not full rotational like some cases are, where you could like switch it left to right. But things like you could switch the door opening, you could switch, there's a panel for hiding things if you want to. That kind of stuff. There's
the top panel is swappable.
Oh, okay. So this is something. My case is old and therefore has racks for hard drives. Is that a thing still? I think a lot of cases don't have that anymore.
Yes. So there is one small rack in the bottom behind the power supply, but there is also the space for you to put in a much bigger rack in between the fans and the end of the video card. The front fans.
As in when I said earlier, the case can do anything. It has a server mode. Where we counted it. It was 11 3.5 drives and 2 2.5s. You could fit.
Oh, I thought you meant that the case for the what do you call it? The hard drives is like optional buy piece. It comes with it and you can just take it out.
There's little trays you can install in the side of that panel that I said was like hiding things. And you can you can install these trays there, and it also has a server or a cage on the bottom too, right, Michael? Was that 3.5s or 2.5s?
I think the one on the bottom was also 3.5s, because I think the 2.5s are mounted to the back side of the plate directly.
Dude, his case has soundproofing on the back panel.
Soundproofing, huh?
Yeah.
That's cool. Like, is it just like rubber pieces to stop the fans from making noise?
No.
Mesh or something?
Like that stuff you see in podcasters' rooms.
Oh.
Like foam
and then fabric on top of
like
it.
Baffling.
Yeah.
Baffling.
Yeah.
Wow. Crazy. Is it quiet?
I had to put my head down next to it to make sure the fans were spinning the first time I did it.
Okay. I mean, you're doing better than me. I can always tell when mine is on.
So, JJ, I don't know if you remember seeing pictures of when Andy has done some of his fan installs, where he puts in the little rubber stoppers in the corners of each of the fans.
That's what I was wondering if you were talking about that.
They come pre-installed on this one.
Oh, very nice.
On all the fans.
Wow.
And then the same with the AIO cooler. The fans on that one have the rubber footing on them.
Anti-vibration.
Yeah. Keeps the rattling to naught.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to nothing.
And he's also got a 240 AIO, so
nice big one.
They don't make much noise when they're not under load.
Man, we got to get you to install like Elden Ring or Guardians of the Galaxy or something that's going to use that video card and stress it out.
I was going to say there's a 3080 Ti in there. We got to get him something. Vampire Survivors isn't going to cut it.
Yeah,
I'm probably going to
turn not doing it.
Turn Horizon Zero Dawn all the way up to 11 and see how that looks. And then I'll probably download Control.
I was going to say, if you have a copy of Control has ray tracing on it. You turn that on, you'll hear it getting loud for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have Control. I didn't download it on the old machine.
Yeah, that'll be cool. That game is cool. Man, I liked that game. Andy, I'm surprised. I think they've given it away for free at this point. I'm surprised you haven't played it. It's very X-Files.
I do have it. I just I've not had the time. It's been a month, but that's okay. It's been a good month. It's just been not a huge gaming month for me. I have squeezed in movies and stuff. We won't talk about The Batman because I want you to watch it.
I also would like to watch it.
You should watch it.
I would like to watch it.
I've never seen a movie. I think I texted this. That was just like, this is a thing you either know or don't know about Batman. Moving on.
Uh-huh.
And it's not obscure stuff, but it's like very close to like animated series level stuff. where it's just
Okay.
like we're just gonna assume you're part of the story here. It was cool. I don't want to talk more about it than that.
Very cool.
Till you guys watch it. Back to the case, because that's important. We almost broke it, and then I unbroke it.
Jesus. It's like he just bought it. I'm thinking of that Gamers Nexus video where he tries to open the case and it literally just cracks a piece off immediately.
Oh, off the Alienware? Yeah.
Yeah. Don't buy Alienware, apparently.
It was not anything like that. Explained the external 3.5 cage, Michael.
Oh, on the front side?
Yeah.
Yeah, so putting in first just accessing the slot where the optical drive goes is its own kind of fun. And it was
still running an optical drive in 2022.
Yes,
Andrew, so am I.
My case can't fit one.
Oops.
I left it in there from before. I just didn't take it out and I just connected it back up.
That's a good point.
Well, this thing's already here. Why not?
Basically. I don't have anything to put in it, so
yeah. So this is kind of related to the one complaint that I heard in looking at reviews of this case, is that accessing the fans and the filter on the front side is a little bit difficult because it has a panel of slanted plastic just to act as a, I guess, a dust break in front of the filter. And you can take it out, but there aren't tabs on it for you to like pull to loosen it. You just have to pull directly on it, and it's on there.
I got my finger caught in it accidentally, and it didn't feel great.
And then there's an even smaller one to access the optical bay. But once we got those off, then the real fun began.
I can't believe this design choice. So
yeah.
So in order to get the fans mountable all the way to the top of the case, if you don't have a 3.5K drive there, optical drive, they have this thing there so you can mount the fans. But what if you wanted to mount a drive there?
Sure.
Yeah. So they tried to be clever. There's a bracket there in the topmost corner of the case, and you rotate the bracket 90 degrees from where it's where it comes installed by default, and then you can slide the optical drive through it, and then you put screws into the side of the optical drive through the bracket, and you screw the bracket you screw it back onto the front of the case.
Okay.
Except that set of holes in the bracket wasn't threaded.
Oof.
And there's also no instructions for telling you how to do this other than a random picture.
Yes, there was one picture that shows you what the orientation should look like.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you would figure it out if the holes didn't line up to the optical drive, but that still sucks.
Right, and that's eventually how we figured out what the right orientation was.
But even then, it was not satisfactorily installed.
Yeah, so Andy engineered a solution.
Because once you threaded it with the machine screw that's there, it just spins.
It doesn't pull the bracket.
Pull the bracket in and make it tight, so the drive just wobbles up and down. Like if you touched the case, it would wobble. I'm now wondering if you were supposed to stick it in from the front, but I don't think it would have fit through the hole there.
The bracket?
Yeah.
No, the bracket wouldn't have fit through. It's just the right width for the optical drive to slide in.
Oh, then definitely it could not have fit through the front. So
the optical drives usually have like a face plate, so you couldn't even slide them in through the front if you wanted.
Right. So I ended up finding a screw and a piece of metal and making a washer / lock nut out of it. So it's now tight in place.
That doesn't sound like what's supposed to happen.
Sure doesn't. And you can only do it on one side because they've over-engineered the back plate, so you can't get in there with your... It's too tight to another piece.
Yeesh.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's the Swiss Army knife problem, right? Eventually you get a Swiss Army knife so big you have to wear it on your belt.
Can do everything, but not any good at anything.
Sure. Well, no, I think
Although,
the case is
that's not right.
This case is very good at a lot of things. It just ended up a little maybe tight in certain spots because of how much they wanted it to do. I mean, it's a good case. Yeah.
I guess you have to make sacrifices somewhere, right? If everything else is great and this is not that great, how many people are really going to be using an optical drive these days, right?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I think a lot of cases don't even have them.
Yeah. So one of Andy's favorite features, JJ, was that on the reverse side of the mounting plate, there is up at the top a rail for extra fan headers.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
So you don't have to try and connect them all together and run them back through to the board. You just run them to the backside and plug them into the header, and then the header has one plug connection that gets powered.
Yeah, it's like a fan daughter board or whatever, so you can have a whole bunch of fans that, it's not like fans really need a ton of power here. You're not like trying to run a hurricane through here.
No, but it was nice for him to just wire all his fans to the back and daughter board them straight there.
Yeah, it's cool. I think
SATA power the whole thing.
I feel like my case has something like that, but probably old and not as cool as this one.
It was very cool. It's tucked away. I didn't even see it.
Yeah, mine is just like a hot PCB sticking on the back. It's like not elegant, but
Yeah, this one's up out of the way.
That's really nice.
There was so much room.
We're going to have to take some pics, man.
So much room. I have a few pictures.
Andy's got some pics. And I sent you the one of it booted up.
Yeah.
But
I've got room to run cables. Oh my God.
I know. I've got to open it back up tomorrow, so I'll take some pictures of the internals.
Man, other than your weird RAM problem, which we solved by apparently learning, hey, for those of you listening, A1 and B1 is not always the main channel for your memory.
Sometimes it's A2 and B2, apparently.
Dude, what is that motherboard manufacturer smoking, dude?
What? Wait till you hear about this. How many pins do you need to power your CPU there, JJ?
Whatever the number is it like 12 or something? I don't remember.
It's normally 8.
Okay.
Or, you could just have 4 extra slots on there for whatever reason.
What?
Yeah, it made provisions for the difference between
ATX and EATX?
ATX and EATX.
12 volt or whatever the higher standard is.
So like for the newer Intel ones or whatever that need.
But it's not an Intel board. It's an AMD board.
I mean, maybe the newest AMD ones also do that. I don't know. I haven't
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
Wonder.
I don't know. It was we stood there for a while and it was like, well, this is the CPU connector. It doesn't have enough pins. This isn't the ATX connector.
How did you know which of the 8 to use?
The pins are, some of the pins are squared versus tapered.
Okay, so you can't plug it in wrong, really.
Right, and then when you check the motherboard manual, it shows you which side to use.
Well, it's good that they put that in there at least. Sheesh.
Yeah.
I can definitely say I have not encountered that one before. That's a new one to me.
Yeah. And I think that your motherboard overall was a good set of compromises. We talked a long time ago about compromises on motherboards. The M2 slot shares with SATA, but not PCI, which turned out to be kind of important now.
Yep.
Because you're going to have to use them.
Mm-hmm.
He did find something else that was a quirk about his board, so he now has to use his PCI slot to fix.
What now?
So the board has a plug for a USB 2.0, a plug for USB 3.1, and a plug for USB 3.2.
Okay.
But there is one extra connection off the front of the case.
The front I/O Gen 2 connector for USB-C.
Right. Which doesn't plug into any of those. So I can plug in 2 of them, but
it doesn't go to the USB 3.2?
3.
No, so that one is
That's Gen
it's
1,
a different
right?
connector. Yeah.
That's the blue one, the like 20 pin or whatever it is.
Oh, huh.
I don't know.
You had to get a card?
So they make Andy sent me this. They make a USB 3.1 to PCIe adapter that basically turns your PCIe slot into a USB slot
For the Gen 2 connector, the USB-C connector.
Yeah, but like
The digital one, not the pin one.
no, I know. I'm just trying to. The motherboard doesn't support that connector at all.
I couldn't find it.
Surprised. Okay,
I mean,
I'm surprised.
pull it up.
Hang on, I can show you.
USB-C is pretty popular at this point.
Send the spec sheet. Well, let's all stare at it and make sure we didn't miss it.
Well, no, even I'll do you one better. I'm going to take advantage of this new PC part picker function.
Oh yeah, explain this to the people.
Yeah, so I thought this was really cool. PC part picker now shows you the connections for everything in your build that is cabled and what plugs into which port. So going down the list, it shows you your CPU socket and that it pairs with the CPU that you bought. And then next it shows you the 4 RAM slots. And then it shows the 2 RAM sticks that I got slotted into them.
For people that are visual learners.
Yep.
That's really cool.
So let me take a picture of this here for you, JJ.
JJ, I got to say, this case is a very modern piece of art. It is very nice looking. It is very square, but also the details in something that square is really nice.
I saw like a quick picture of it earlier this weekend when you guys were building it, but I didn't get all the deets. So I'm happy to be learning the secrets.
Okay. So there's what I see.
Gen 2 header plug. Okay, so USB 1.
So I misspoke.
2.
It has the motherboard has 2 USB 2.0 headers and 1 3.2.
Gen 1, which is the blue header with
Gen
the
1.
pins, not Gen 2, which is the digital header.
Okay. So the Gen 2 one is the one that's missing. Okay.
Right. So their default suggestion is to get an adapter for each of those connectors. Right. That's what the B and C lettering is. Those are tied to the possible issue notes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's what it wants you to do. It wants you to use the Gen 1 as an adapter on. Why would you do that? It would slow your Gen 1 headers down. That was stupid.
Yeah, I don't know.
So this thing wants you, instead of using your 3.2 Gen 1 on the 3.2 Gen 1, it wants you to stick it in USB 2 with an adapter and then stick your Gen 2s into Gen 1 with an adapter.
Yes.
This is dumb.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know why they did it that way.
Because they're trying to make it the easiest thing they can versus you having to figure out that you have enough PCI lanes to add a 3.2 adapter to your PCI.
Yeah, I was just about to say this is like the easy solution for people who just want to plug stuff in and be done.
Yeah. But in this case, you need 2 adapters instead of just 1.
Right. And they're probably more expensive than just a $30 PCI card.
And depending on what it is, like they might just be literal like pin movers arounders and not be that expensive. But I also don't know. Like I said, I don't really know the difference between these things like intimately other than circle, round, square, not.
This is The Office. They're the same picture. Yeah.
Circle good, square not good. That's what I know.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Well, you know, Apollo 13 proved you can make it all work. You just got to figure out how. And we can figure out how.
So was there any other issues installing the CPU or the cooler or?
There wasn't an issue, but installing the cooler would definitely have been difficult as a 1-person job.
Gotta torque those things, man.
No. There was
You wanna?
Oh no, go for it. It was just gonna say like the amount of hands. Michael, you can describe why, but like you just needed hands, or you would have ended up whacking.
Yeah. Or like with thermal paste smeared somewhere you don't want.
Oh
it.
yeah, that was the big thing, right? No pre-applied thermal paste,
Right.
which was strange.
I mean, as an old school PC builder, I've applied my own thermal paste every time, and not
I'm
really had
sure.
much of an issue.
Sure. Yeah.
But Cooler
Also,
Master,
I'm not. Yeah,
a brand new AIO, you would think would have just pre-applied the paste.
yeah. I don't know. That stuff can be weird. Like, how long was that box sitting on a shelf or whatever?
Okay.
True.
To dry out.
But yeah, so the cooler uses the 2 default brackets that are already on the motherboard, which the plastic ones that have the little tabs on the outside that are screwed down.
The AMD stock.
Yeah, the standard AMD
standoffs.
ones.
Right. Okay.
So to get the cooler in place,
Hold on. After you read the Intel directions and we assembled it one way.
Right. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention to the fact that the instructions for the assembling this cooler just sort of jammed together in a very random order.
They're all out of order.
Assembly directions.
Yeah.
I'm shaking my head over here.
They're all out of order.
The Intel bracket setup just kind of runs into the AMD bracket setup rather than doing like one side of this is Intel and the other side is AMD.
It sure would have made a lot of sense to just print out a form and one side is AMD and one side's Intel. Like, I mean, you nailed it right there.
Yeah.
You now have a job at Cooler Master, Michael.
So once we got that sorted, we got the right brackets put on, and the brackets it's 2 of them. They have thumb screws on top, and then on the bottom side, they have a square hook. And that square hook is meant to catch on the tabs on the outside of the 2 default brackets that come with it. Except holding the cooler still and getting those tabs to catch requires 3 hands.
Yeah, I'm picturing it. You can't like.
You have to hold the cooler.
You got to hold the thing. You got to
hold the thumb screw
Yeah.
and get the bottom side of it to hook onto the tab.
But before all that, you've had to pre-wire 2 fan wires, a pump wire, an RGB wire, 2 more RGB wires, all while mounting the block to the top. Before you,
otherwise you'll never be able to get to that stuff once the big thing is in the way.
Yeah. So it just required every step was like, one more hand here is like the only way to do this. Especially when you're applying that thermal paste by hand, and you got to make sure you're pushing that pump block down evenly.
Yeah.
Yeah, the screws are usually pretty good about torquing it evenly once you have them all screwed in. So even if it's uneven at the start, once you get all of them in and torque them down, it'll.
But again, you're
fish
fish hooking the sides. You're not like going straight down into standoffs with screws.
No, so I know what you're saying. I'm just. It's like it's a tough issue. I see. Like I can picture the issues. Like
right where the third hand comes in.
How does anyone do the thing to turn the hook? So
yeah. But
well, it's good that you had a friend over and could help with that.
I mean, it went home with you and it booted?
It went home with me and it booted first try.
Dude, that's like the holy grail.
I'm 2
always
for 2
my
now.
fear. Always my fear that it won't boot.
Yeah.
That's awesome though.
Yeah. So fixed the only issue that I found was the one where we had the memory in the wrong slots, and once I got those swapped out, the clock speed was right. Once I turned on the DCOP, I think that's the AMD equivalent to XMP.
DOCP, yeah.
DOCP. Yeah.
It's odd that it wouldn't overclock it even in the wrong slot. Because what happens if you had 4 sticks, you know?
My guess is if you had 4 sticks, it would work because it does the first one and then it does the second one.
Oh, it's like a daisy chain issue.
And so, like, because it couldn't find the first one, it was like, I don't know about this, man. And then stopped.
Right, it just set it to whatever the default was.
Oh, got it.
That's my guess. I don't want to like claim like I know, but that sounds like what it would do.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Silly that you can't do it because again, they should be equivalent. It's not like the slot. Like, it's not like the. I guess whatever. I guess the motherboard tells you those are the primary ones, and so you should be using them. But like, why is the primary one number 2?
I mean, the board wasn't marked though. It wasn't like the board. My board.
Oh, it didn't even have like A1, A2 written on it.
It had A1, A2, but it didn't line up with arrows to tell you which one was primary. Like the board that I've seen before, and the board that I have now has like white and gray, and it points 2 arrows at the white ones. It's like very clearly, it's like use these.
Yeah. I think mine just had like the A1, A2 on the silk screen, but then I had to do what you ended up doing and look it up in the manual. Like, well, which one am I supposed to use?
Right.
I don't remember the result. I wonder if mine's in A2 also. I'm not going to try and get under there and figure it out.
Who's your motherboard manufacturer?
Asus.
Okay, same as mine. So you would think that they would use the same.
Yeah, maybe. Different chipset though, right? I think mine's the higher and louder one.
Yes.
But I don't know, maybe probably something like that you wouldn't change. Anyway, whatever. You got it working, which is the important thing.
Yeah, got it working. It's got an OS in it now, so I've started the fun of updating, and migrations will be next.
Oh, speaking of stuff to install when you install an OS, I came across a little tool recently for Windows, although it probably works on Linux also, since it's open source. It's called Everything. Have you guys heard of this?
No.
Everything, no.
It's basically, how like Windows search really sucks?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
This is a search that actually is good.
Okay.
It indexes everything on all your drives, and then you just search, and it will just find stuff. Like it finds, like, I'm searching for like, a string of letters or something in a file name, and it's like pulling up temporary files from when I had that thing open in a document or whatever, and then the real file, and it's finding like everything across all my drives. So it's been pretty helpful.
This has been around since 2004.
Yeah, it's not new, but it's useful.
Huh.
It requires NTFS.
That's fine.
Which you have if you're using Windows.
Yeah. Yep. I think that's still true in Windows 11. Let me double check. I don't know how to double check that quickly.
It should be.
That is NTFS? It is. I know.
Oh, you did Windows 11 as well?
I did.
I did not notice that in the box.
Insane.
Other than some weird quirks that they need to work out, it runs stably. But
okay,
there's definitely some annoyances. The show more options thing needs to end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The right click window being quote unquote cleaned up is criminal.
Yeah, that took me a minute to figure out. I was like, where's the thing I want to click on here?
Criminal.
You have to do like Control Alt or something, right click Alt. I can't remember what I do here versus like my work computer where I have a bunch of extra stuff installed, but one of them like brings up a bunch of extra stuff if you hold, it's Alt or Control and right click.
It ain't either of those.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know then. Also, maybe they got rid of it in 11. I guess I don't know.
Well, hold on. I've got a key. What's the key next to Control on the right-hand side?
The menu key?
It's a menu key. Is that it?
Usually it brings up the Windows menu.
Non-standard key. I think it can be mapped to whatever, depending on your keyboard.
No, not the Windows one.
Oh, on the other side.
The FN key?
Is that an FN? I guess.
So
that's what's on my computer.
Mine has
keyboard
3
has
little dots.
2. I have an FN, and then I have another one between FN and Control.
I have Alt
Windows,
3 lines and control.
So the 3 lines, Andy, click on an icon on your desktop and hit it, and it should do the same as right clicking.
It does better than right clicking. It brings up the old right click menu.
Aha, there you go.
Hallelujah.
Well,
we can finally get back to the functionality we wanted the whole time.
Learn something new every day.
Windows 11. It's not the best thing in the world to have to hit that button instead of right clicking my mouse, but it sure is better than right clicking my mouse currently.
Yes.
Still not the worst Windows OS they've put out.
It is not going to be a bad OS in the long run. It's very stable already.
I am intentionally risk averse on it because I've been burned so many times in transitions from versions of Windows, and it's not even recently. Like, I'm talking about like Vista and ME.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
that like avoiding that, JJ, was a little bit of the drive to just go ahead and get 11 and install it clean.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah.
I did not want to deal with the upgrade path. I just went straight to 11.
Yeah, my initial upgrade from 7 to 10 wasn't much of a problem.
But those drives you're running have done what? 7 to 10 to now 11. You know what I mean? It's just good. There's so much cruft in there. I bet you.
Yeah. You get I only have one of my old drives left. I kind of moved everything onto that one, and the other one I was kind of like.
Well, you're running an NVMe now, right?
I have an NVMe and an SSD.
Yeah, so it's not as bad as it could be.
And an old spinning plate.
Yeah.
You monster.
The old spinning plate really at this point just holds like all of the random movies and I had from college. It doesn't really have anything useful on there.
Stuff you don't mind losing when it dies.
I mean, I never use it, so like it's never gonna die.
It's never spun up. It's just sitting there in sleep mode.
Help me, man.
Spin me.
When everything cataloged it, it was like the most work it had done in years, probably.
And it didn't fail. It's good for the thing about those drives was that if they didn't fail in the first year, they're not gonna.
Yeah,
right.
They're gonna last a super long time until you like literally wear out the platter. Unlike the SSDs and NVMEs, which do have a limited life. Now the life is long enough that you're probably going to get a different computer.
Let me see. Let me open the Samsung. You need to download Samsung Magician if you haven't yet, buddy.
It's on my list.
Let's see. What are my current writes on this guy?
Yeah, I mean, all that stuff is controlled through software on the NVMe controller too. They level it so that it's not it's overburning one spot.
And
these things are super smart.
You can tune it through the software that Andy's talking about.
This software is like way smarter than me. You know?
Oh yeah, I mean that's like the software made by the people who made the product is going to do wonders.
It honestly does
what you and I could do.
Well, no, but just it does too much, right? Like there's performance optimization for each drive in here. I could upgrade them from standard mode to like full performance mode, I guess.
Also like power
save, custom mode. I'm never touching custom mode. Are you nuts? Like, oh man.
The feeling from reading about it and just sort of looking at pictures of the interface, it sort of gives you that same sense as when you click into the advanced menu in the BIOS and you're like, what are all these blanks?
What am I doing here?
I like looking at that advanced stuff in the BIOS because I know almost enough to understand some of it.
Mm-hmm.
But then I'm like, I'm not touching any of this. No, I don't.
Yeah.
No.
So let's see. The 980 Pro will write 300, no more, because this is just for the 500. The 980 Pro and write endurance for the 500 is 300 terabytes. That's a lot. 980 Pro 2 terabyte write endurance. Where are you?
What?
So these drives that I have in here, I have written to the one that I've used the most 2.9 terabytes because I did a lot of moving of files around.
Mm-hmm.
The life of this, according to Samsung, is 1,200 terabytes.
So I feel like you got a while.
Forever.
A quarter of a percent.
Yeah, literally forever.
That's cool.
Yeah.
My drive is not from Samsung, unfortunately, so I cannot partake in this magic. But
Dude,
I'm happy that it works.
It's one of the reasons I paid a premium for the Samsung drives is the software. So I highly recommend the software.
They're known to be really good, so like it's reasonable to pay a premium for them. Everyone, they win the things usually.
It did hurt my heart to see Sabrent 2 terabyte drives this past week on sale, and I was like, "What did I pay?"
Yeah, those ones have been more than I paid. Also, it made me sad.
But I think that the Samsung drives are worth every penny. It's not a paid ad, so I mean,
no, this is definitely a case of you get what you pay for.
Yeah, you really are experiencing prestige in a way. Yep. Anyway, well, I mean, congratulations, man.
Thank you. It feels good to have it done, and
I'm happy we're all
process
on
is
the
always
thing.
fun.
Yeah. I'm happy we're all together on the new systems here. This is nice. It's not in boxes anymore.
Yeah,
I've done that before, where you just wait too long and you feel like, I should have built this months ago.
I'm excited for Michael to get in and like really rev it up and see some cool stuff.
Yeah, because what was the thing you were on, a 1070 or a 970?
No, this one was was it a 1070? Yeah, because it was a 970, and then I upgraded it.
Yeah.
Sizable increase in performance there.
Not to intentionally quote Aladdin, but a whole new world, man.
Night and day.
What kind of monitors are you using? Are you in the 1440p gang?
So I haven't. The monitor is the last thing that I need to upgrade. I still have an old.
We had this discussion.
Lenovo ThinkVision.
Oh man, did you figure out what
720? It's 1080, right?
Maybe not.
I don't think so.
Oh my god, there's no point. Why did you
exactly.
Right, so I need to
upgrade.
Computer's going to be bored.
I told him he needs 1440 with 144 hertz.
Yeah,
at a minimum.
Yes.
Yeah, there's some good deals on those. You can get like some of those. I don't know how big you want. That's like the concern. But some of those like Dell G-Sync ones go on sale pretty decently, frequently enough.
Look, I mean the like 1080 if you really want to step it down to, and even IPS 1080 from like an LG or somebody's like only $150.
Oh, like look, you can get monitors for cheap. I'm just asking if he wants to get a good monitor. Like there are monitors for inexpensive that are totally serviceable and will be a major upgrade over a non 1080 whatever.
Yeah. But I think the Asus makes way too big, probably like 28-inch monitors for.
I mean, like every manufacturer makes like 4 sizes, right? And it's going to be like 19, 22, 24, 27, and then like
38.
OMG curved, like ultra wide, too big. Like, don't buy this.
Yeah. So what's the native resolution on this guy? Native resolution 1680 by 1050.
10 what?
That's a laptop size. Yeah, that's a weird one.
Yeah, it's an extra wide.
Oh, you know what?
So it's like that's 1440.
1610.
Yeah.
1610.
So that's 1610. That's 1440.
Wait, what? Yeah. No, he said by 1050, Andrew.
No, I know, but that's the same aspect ratio as a 1440 monitor.
Oh, because
it's 1610
the other way.
Not 16:9.
Okay.
Right?
Well,
am I right about that, or am I incorrect?
I have to do the multiplication, and I don't.
Because the 1440 monitors are usually
by 9,
2560. Right?
Yes, I think that's true.
So that's 1.7. And what was your dimensions, Michael?
1680 by 1050.
Oh no, that's even
No.
wider.
No, it's not. It's not. Yeah, it's
This
not
is
quite.
this is like ultra wide 1080
Yeah,
or
that's
something.
super wide.
Yep.
Okay.
Right. 1920 by
Well,
1080.
I'm sure it'll look cool once you get it all something running on there.
Even without it.
ultra wide is weird because there's definitely some games that are going to have issues trying to fit it on a non-standard screen size. A lot of the modern ones will be fine, but like older stuff might not.
Yeah, some of the older stuff I just wind up with bars.
Yeah. Unfortunate.
Yeah.
Or you can go find the mod that some person made and fixes it.
Sure. Yeah. If I'm,
or not, or get a new monitor.
I mean, or that.
or
I mean, you've got HDMI and DisplayPort,
too.
man. It's time to upgrade.
yeah.
Wait, what's wrong with DisplayPort?
No. That's the new card has.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not to pressure you into buying something expensive, but like just something you'll get the use out of a 3080.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
And
you already know all this.
Yeah,
It's in the plan.
You don't need us talking about it.
Yeah. Well,
All
it's
right.
still congratulations.
Do you get?
Yeah,
Thank you.
totally.
Do you guys want to spend our last few minutes mired in controversy that we can then pass on to the people?
Oh boy, no politics, please.
I was going to talk about a dinner party.
Okay.
What?
So
I'm in.
No, Andy, you sent this to JJ and I.
I did. I take
Choose
no
your own
responsibility.
dinner. Choose your own dinner guests.
Oh, I gotta pull that back up. Yeah, I don't know where I found that. It was bouncing around the internet or something.
I was doing something. I didn't look at this too close. Hold on. I'm scrolling back here.
So it is a 16 by 4 by 4 grid of little thumbnails of celebrity headshots.
Mm-hmm.
And it says choose your own dinner guests. And
Yeah.
the rule that we were given is of the 16 shown, you get to choose 3.
Yeah. So I'll run the list here.
We're ignoring that some of these people maybe are passed away.
Yes.
Yes.
You're allowed to bring them back. Anyway, Big Bird and Kermit are out. So the list, I guess, for people that haven't seen it is Dolly Parton, Ryan Reynolds, Kermit, Benedict Cumberbatch, Shaq, Emma Watson, Keanu Reeves, Angelina Jolie, Taylor Swift, Mr. Rogers, LeVar Burton, Patrick Stewart, Robin Williams, Tom Hanks, Big Bird, and Betty White.
Yeah, tough.
I mean, just take out the Muppets. Who cares? Unless the
My
Muppets were.
only question with the Muppets would be:
Does
who do you
Jim
get? You
Henson-
get Jim Henson?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's different.
It's different if it's Jim Henson, but they don't show him in the picture, so you got to assume no.
Okay. So then, yeah, they're out. I don't have interest in that.
I would say yes if it was Jim Henson, but if you got two of them, then what are we doing here? I don't know, man.
I think it's tough. It's tough.
a dinner guest, so you have to be able to talk to these people, and
Right.
I just don't know that I have anything that it would be interesting to say to Angelina Jolie at all.
I think my picks here would be LeVar Burton,
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Keanu Reeves, and
interesting.
Dolly Parton.
They all have to get along, though. Keanu and
I
Dolly
don't
would
think-
get along, and I'm sure
I don't
LeVar
think-
would have
I
a
think
great
LeVar
time.
would get along with
I don't
them.
think there'd be any problems there.
Yeah.
All of them, from their public personas, seem like perfectly nice and congenial people,
Yeah,
and they would all have stuff to talk about amongst themselves. And I have nothing to relate to any people on this list, really. But I could ask questions about their lives and stuff. I feel like there's enough there that you could get a conversation going.
that's just so like I look at Mr. Rogers and Tom Hanks, and like I'm drifting to them first, and then I'm like, but what am I going to talk to them about? Like I just want to sit there and listen to them.
Right.
I don't know, man.
It's tough, man. Yeah.
Then you don't want to invite like a Taylor Swift or a Dolly Parton because I don't want them to feel like pressured to be entertainment.
I feel like the other option is like you try to keep people all in the same lane, so Taylor Swift and Dolly Parton both in the musical business.
I guess, yeah, sure. If you're trying to line up genres or whatever.
That's the point where you do invite Kermit the Frog.
There you go. I mean, Shaq has a rap album, so
This is true.
he's a DJ too. Actually,
Doesn't Robin Williams also have a Grammy?
He does,
was in
but I think
Broadway.
it's for his.
Yeah.
I think it's for his stand-up stuff.
Well, just we could do Grammy winners.
I mean, you could do Oscar winners. You could do wholesome people. There's a lot of options here, man.
Yeah,
A lot of different ways to slice it.
I don't know. Patrick Stewart, but then again, what would I say to Patrick Stewart other than just stare?
Right.
Yeah. It's like Picard sitting at my table. What do I do?
Yeah.
I think Keanu.
Picard and Geordi together.
I think Keanu just automatically shoots to the top of every list that I
feel
make.
like from what I've seen of him, he would just get along with anyone because that's how kind of person he is.
And then I'm like, well, do Keanu and Ryan Reynolds get along?
Have they ever had cause to cross?
Or is
each
that
other's
too
path?
is that too much funny?
Keanu hasn't been in a ton of comedies recently. It's been a while.
That's true. He's now an action star.
Well, they did the new Bill and Ted.
True.
Betty White, Keanu Reeves, and Ryan Reynolds.
Be interesting.
Or you go full dad mode and you bring on Tom Hanks, Mr. Rogers, and Patrick Stewart.
Sure. Or LeVar Burton because he's instead of Patrick because of the Reading Rainbow.
Sure, yeah.
Good morning.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. So it's LeVar Burton, Mr. Rogers, and who else reads to kids? Big Bird.
Oh yeah, shoot.
No, Dolly
Go.
Parton.
Oh, yeah.
Dolly Parton does the
all
sending
of
books, doesn't she?
I think all of them do kid stuff. So
I think that's the answer.
all right. Well, if folks want to find us and
Dolly
tell
Parton
us the
sends the
actual
books.
answer,
Dolly Parton sends the books to kids, so you got to do that one. Dolly Parton,
Okay.
LeVar Burton, Mr. Rogers.
And
I feel
then
like
just
there's
have
like
story time instead of a dinner party.
almost
I
no
just-
wrong answer here.
No. Yeah.
Well, if folks want to tell us the canonically correct answer, Michael, where should they go?
They can send us an email at podcast@weweregamers.com. We would love to hear who your dinner guests would be. Tell us why our choices are terrible and we should never host. They can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We were gamers on all those places. You should go check out our YouTube channel. We were gamers, all one word. We have every one of our episodes up there, divided up into convenient playlists for your listening and more recently viewing pleasure.
This one will go into component class.
I was just going to say, I guess this whole episode is a component class.
Yeah, maybe the last one for a while.
Yeah, I will have something to say about the internals of a PlayStation 5 controller soon.
I was just about to say, you have a
Teaser.
project.
Okay. Excited to
Teaser.
hear about that.
Thanks for hosting, Michael.
Glad to do it. Glad to have something big to talk about.
Yeah, that was fun. It was a good build. And a good look. I don't think we mentioned that in this point of any of this. Is that it looks good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's super sleek. We both agreed, JJ, in talking about it, that the define comes in two options.
Send him the other option. Send him the other option. Don't even say anything.
The other one.
Okay.
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 Don't even describe it. Just send it. And
Then I will understand.
interesting. The Sabrent 2 terabytes says it could write 3,600 terabytes. That's more. I am bushed, my man.
Yeah, I hear you.
And yeah, wow. I wonder what the Sabrent software is like.
Do they offer something?
I don't know. Rocket control panel. What is rocket control panel? Oh, this looks like it was made in China in the 90s. And it needs a nice overhaul.
Ooh.
But it looks like it has the same functionality, just not the way I would lay this out at all.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I'm sure people like those drives, and they're probably reliable. I just went for the Samsungs because I know that they're good.
Uh-huh. While we were recording, I got a ship notice for that adapter.
Oh, good. Would you get it from Amazon?
Yeah.
Cool.
Less than $30. It'll be here tomorrow.
Dude, easy.
Yep.
Do you need to install any firmware, or is it just going to run?
I think it'll just run, but we'll find out.
One would hope. It just works. This
Yep.
PCI card should just be basically converting the connector.
Right. The card should natively just do all the work, right?
It literally should just be transforming the lanes of your Gen 2 into the lanes of the PCI
right
slot.